Hi, for those who don't already know me, my name is Tim Pelter. Served in the U.S. Air Force. In 1995, I went into the apprenticeship. In 2000, I topped out. I went on to take the Reading Masters immediately after that and passed that test, became a master electrician for Reading. In 2008, I took the Pittsburgh Masters test and the Philadelphia Masters test, which are Class 1 tests, and passed both of those. Did a lot of coaching for my son and things like that. Really got involved in the community and also did a lot of volunteer work for the local over the years. But I always stayed out of the politics. I wish I hadn't sometimes, but I did because I didn't feel, at least back years ago, that I really understood what was going on and didn't feel as though I had a whole lot to put into it because I was new. All right, I felt that I should pay my dues and do my time. And now I've done that. Over the last few years, I've built quite a few businesses, several businesses, bought real estate. And the real estate is the only thing I own now. I've sold off the businesses, done very well in every business that I've ever done. Okay. To set your mind at ease, if I become your business manager, if I'm lucky enough that you elect me to be your business manager, I will have someone who manages my properties day to day. The only thing I will make sure is that they're being maintained properly, my tenants are being taken care of, and that the cash flow is correct. But otherwise, I won't have day-to-day operations at all. I've already have somebody who will take care of that for me. So when I decided that I was going to run for business manager, I was really very frustrated. I couldn't understand how another business manager had been appointed after 39 years. This is the 39th year since we actually elected someone to that position. To my mind, the whole point of having elections is to make sure that we get to pick the business manager, preferably somebody who has business experience, has worked with the tools for a long time, wasn't handpicked for one reason or another. So and there's so many other things that go on here. We don't know what's going on. One of the major issues is we don't know what the finances are, and it's not explained to us where the money is going or what's being done with it or why or anything of the sort. For the first time in February, they actually announced the credit card bill. That was in 20 years and all the meetings that I've come to, that was the first time I'd ever heard what the credit card bill was. That amazed me. So I would like to, as your business manager, show you the yearly audit, which is required by the Constitution, something I've never heard in 20 years as well. I'd like to show all the expenses, and I will show all the expenses. Most locals do all these things that I'll talk about in this video. I will distribute the LM2. Now, that's something that maybe some of the locals don't do, but it's certainly public information. It's required by the federal government to be submitted to them. And it tells you how many members you have, what was the gross income, where was that money spent generally. It also covers how much the business managers make, which, by the way, I don't think the members really do understand how much the business managers make. 2 years ago, the LM2 showed that the business manager made $18,000 more than the 133%. I know that some of that money came from the being the president of the building trades. To my mind, I will not be the president of the building trades, even if I were offered the position, because I need to focus on this local and getting this local back to where it should be. I believe the building trades is important, but I think the local is more important, and that little bit of extra money is not going to matter in the long run. If I do a good job, in the end, we'll all be much happier. So that's the first big issue. The next is to look for all work. Other locals ask their retirees to come in and have meetings where, say, a Wednesday morning, they come in and maybe 3 or 4 retirees come in and they look through the newspaper, they look through all the websites like Penbid and so on and so forth. They pay for the services. This is a major benefit to the contractors. Now, these retirees would get paid preferably about $10 an hour. 98 North, the old Norristown, pays their retirees $12 to come in and do this. And they just sit down and they brainstorm and they look through all the different things and try and figure out what work fits in their niche. And what I mean by niche is, what is the best paying work? What is the work that suits the union and its employees and its members? And its contractors as well. So that gives the business manager and the business agents more time to focus on not looking for the work as much as tracking it, figuring out whether contractors are doing it, helping new contractors be developed from within the local itself. We need to stop having so few of our members not become contractors. We need to serve more than just one contractor. As time is going on, we always seem to find one contractor, serve them extremely well, and let a lot of the other contractors fall off to the wayside. And that's something that needs to end. We need to give every opportunity to every contractor, no matter how big or how small or big the job is. All right. So tracking, getting contractors as much information about all the jobs coming out that are within our niche. We need to become more efficient in the hall. The hall, to my mind, is not very efficient, and what I just talked about is one of those examples. We need to set standards and policies as to what needs to be done every week and every month to cover the different issues of, did we go out and shake enough hands at jobs and talk to the members during lunch? I don't want to interrupt jobs, but I'd like to stop in every so often at a job and shake hands and talk to the members and ask them what they think. I'd like to start using technology to make the hall more efficient. What that means is we'll send out a text, hey, by the way, don't forget next week or tomorrow is the meeting, and next week is a holiday on Monday or Friday. And, there's safety thing that we can talk about. We'll send out educational things for safety through text, and we can send those texts individually through a computer. So basically, we're not sending a mass text. We're sending everyone in the local a separate text saying the same thing. That's very easy to do, and yet we're not doing it. I don't understand why, and it certainly wouldn't take very much time on the part of the hall. I'd like to change the referral system. And what I want to do is ask the e-board and the membership to sit down and say, these are the things that we'd like to see the referral system do. We're gonna look at what other locals are doing, bring that to the e-board and the membership and say, what do you think of these ideas? Right now, the referral system doesn't work very well, and I'm not a very big fan of the way it's been working, and I don't think most people are. I think most people are very upset that it was just changed. They had no say in that matter. I don't understand why, because again, we are an organization, and the membership is what's supposed to be served by that organization. Healthcare, another major issue, as the Reading Hospital starts winding down at the end of this summer, we realize that that our unemployment is going to grow again, and our book is going to skyrocket in numbers. We're going to ask people to go out of town, and then we're going to force them on occasion to come back into town, and then we're giving up healthcare money. That makes no sense. If somebody's out of town, let them stay out of town. We'll put somebody who's already in our local who is not traveling to work, and now we've got two healthcares instead of just one healthcare. In my mind, that makes no sense at all. The John Hancock change with the retirement. We went from John Hancock to John Hancock, and the membership really had no say in that. It was done for us. I don't believe that that's the way it should have been done. It should have been presented to the e-board, then presented to the membership as the different options that were available. We may have settled on the option that was chosen, but did we have a say? We did not. All right. I don't believe that that's the way a local should run it. And I know that a lot of other locals, I've heard that comment, oh, well, what are you going to change because it's the way the system is? Well, if you went to other locals and you talked to, and I have talked to quite a few people in other locals and some business managers, and it's amazing. They don't do things the way we do. We have this antiquated system, this system that looks like it comes out of the dark ages. It's time to find a new direction for the ship and take the ship in a new direction that works for the members, works for the contractors. We need to get our market share back, and we have been losing market share ever since I entered this local. That's something that needs to end. We need to start gaining that market share back, especially in the niche. We should be getting 100% of all the work that pays what we get paid. All right. One thing that I haven't quite understood, and as a business person and somebody who's started several businesses and been successful, is a 5-year plan, although kind of boring at times, really sets goals and standards as to what your customer is. Now, in our case, the customer is the member, but it's also to some degree a contractor. And we have to understand that we have to pursue that. And a 5-year plan sets that goal of every year we want to create one new contractor, 2 new contractors from within our membership. We want to have 8% of the work next year, 9% of the work the year after, and so on and so forth. Now, I'm not a big believer on that note of saying, oh, yeah, we're going to go after the 60 and 70% work. I think 90% work we should take on occasion when it gets us in the door, when it helps us in the long term. 80% I'm not much of a fan of, and certainly below that I'm not much of a fan at all. Now, we may have to do it because the IO requires it, but we don't have to aggressively go after it. We can be more aggressive about getting our niche work back, which is what we should be doing. The highest paid electricians, the most skilled and better educated, and so on and so forth. So a 5-year plan helps set those goals, and that's why I brought up a 5-year plan. I've never owned a business that didn't have a 5-year plan, yet I know other locals have 5-year plans, and yet we don't seem to have one, and I'm pretty confident we never have. That's how an organization keeps track of itself, and we are an organization that has to find ways to save the situation we're in. We're slowly going downhill as we continue to lose market share. That is not something that has slowed down. That is something that has continued year after year. When I first came into the local, it was about 18%. Now it is down to about 7 or 8%. And the Reading Hospital, as soon as that is over, we know what's going to happen with the unemployment. So we'll look at the e-board, ask for the members to input, and so on, and setting those goals and those plans. On another note, and more personal note for me, I will not appoint a business manager to take my place. Okay, for any reason, if I leave or whatever, I absolutely will not. I'll ask for a special election, whether it's when I retire someday or I just decide that I don't want to do it anymore or whatever. I will not. Absolutely, if I get sick, I will not appoint someone. Absolutely will not. I find it ridiculous that for 39 years we've had people appointed. I think the membership should have an opportunity to look at the people that are going to serve them and say, these are the people we feel can do the best job. Hopefully they have a little bit of experience in business, hopefully a little bit of experience in politics, and so on and so forth. So I just find that it's the membership's right to choose their business manager. I'd like to thank you for looking through this video or watching this video. I keep saying looking through, but watching this video. Please look through the website. There's a lot of information here. I did not get specific on absolute details about some things. Other things I did get specific and tell you at least what my opinion of the best way to go is. But again, it will all come down to the e-board, the membership, and obviously getting that with the trustees, which I think the trustees are more than reasonable as long as you put a reasonable thing in front of them. So I will not, be the dictator that I think we've had over the past 20 years, at least since I've been in the local. And I think it's time that we go in a different direction. Many of the other locals have gotten rid of the people that have represented them over the years and elected new business managers. And guess what? They've done very well by that. And they've taken a much more structured organizational business direction. And it's paying off for them. I believe it's about time we did. Thank you very much, and please look through the website. Take your time. If you have any questions, there is a spot in there to email me, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Thank you very much.